Hello everyone, this is Aegon of Astora, and this is the third episode of Dark Souls 2, Let's Talk Lore. And we left off the last episode having defeated the last giant, and all that we missed through the cut there was my warping to Majula. So we're going to say hello to Leningras.
You, stand back. This is dangerous work. The name's Lenigrast, just a simple blacksmith. And you are, another useless traveler. A man ought to labor with his feet planted firmly in the earth. Not roam around like you flirtatious vagabonds. Oh, what does it matter? Go on, show me what you've got. Your equipment. Let me have a look. But do it quick.
What a nice guy. Especially in contrast to Andre of Astora from Dark Souls 1, who is actually a nice guy and not kind of a dick like him. Like Leningras, that is. Okay, so we're gonna pick up a longsword. Just one, not six, thank you. I'm gonna reinforce that as much as possible. The +4, we're gonna beat the Pursuer next, and then head to the Lost Bastille, where we'll get some more large Titanite shards. I'm not sure if we have the stats to wield the longsword yet, though. Oh, we do actually. So that'll bring our AR up to 204. It's not bad. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to go spend $1,000 with Maulin, or 1,000 souls rather, so as to gain access to the Elite Knight set, which is the...
Hello there. Welcome to my shop. I'm Morlin, and I sell armor. Oh, sorry, Please do have a look at my wares. I could really use the business. If you'd be so kind.
The Elite Knight set, which is, of course, the set worn by Astora Elite Knights. So, fits obviously with our build. There's no combination we can get of items, as far as I can tell, that will get us at 1,000 on dot, so we'll just buy some talc in our gloves.
Thanks very much.
Can't really afford... Actually, maybe we can if we pop some souls to get the to get any pieces of the armor. I don't think we'll be able to afford all of it, but let's see if we can't at least get the chest piece or something. Really have no need for the Soul of the Last Giant, and we've already read the description for that in the previous episode, so we're going to pop that. Let's go see... I think we get close to the entire set, actually. Let's see.
Oh, I was hoping that you would come. I've stocked some new things, and I thought that you might be interested. They've been selling rather well, and I may step up operations soon. I'm surprising even myself, to be honest.
Yes, he's starting to become a fair bit more cocky. Let's see, 4 plus 47... It's 87. No, we won't be able to afford the whole set, but we'll get everything other than the helmet, I believe. Yes. We need another 1,000 souls for the helmet.
Thanks very much.
But let's see if we can pop all that on and still fast roll. Yeah, oh yeah, fair bit of room still to be able to fast roll. Very nice, okay. What's my vitality at? 6, okay. So we are going to fire over or fire back to the Cardinal Tower at the Force Fallen Giants. Okie dokie. So first, we're gonna grab ourselves the Ring of Restoration. Oh, I messed up that parry beat. Now let's just kill you. That was kind of sad. Soul item here. So now that 4 rings, pop that on. And next, yeah, why don't we go check out the... We're gonna go check out the Soldier's Rest Bonfire. I'm gonna do my usual... Not exactly speed run through this part, but certainly attempt anyway to avoid most of the enemies. That's just some torches there, so I'm not going to bother with that. Oh, that was close. What I usually do here is I run up the ladder. Grab ourselves 3 cracked red eye orbs and jump across to the bonfire. And run up here. Grab the leather set and Soul of a Proud Knight. We'll check out the item descriptions for that in a second. But first, I might not be able to sit this bonfire. So now, I wonder very much about why this tree right here is the only one that grows seeds. I mentioned in the last episode that part of what makes the Souls game so special is the synthesis of gameplay and lore elements. But sometimes, of course, there are some gameplay elements that don't necessarily coincide with the lore. And I think that might be one of the cases where, yeah, something exists for a gameplay reason but doesn't necessarily have a lore reason for existing. But yeah, we'll return there later. I just wanted to grab that bonfire for now, so we'll just warp back to Cardinal Tower. Okie dokie. So we're back at Cardinal Tower. There's not much left to do here other than to go fight the Pursuer, so let's go do that. Again, I'm not going to try to force myself to talk about lore for places that I don't particularly have a good handle on, or where I don't have anything really interesting or original to say. So there will be a lot of just speed running through certain parts, just because that's how I generally play the game. Although I will say that this part, so this is the spot right here, as I'm sure many of you know, but I'm going to point out stuff like this anyway when I think it's interesting or appropriate. This is the spot right here where, as a caster, you fight the Giant Lord. And we're going to have to do a little bit more of a comparison later. Because obviously this part right here isn't... this part hasn't fallen over in the memory of the giant, memory of Jay when you go fight the Giant Lord. And the spot where you pick up the giant soul is right here, which is interesting. That through there, if I recall correctly, people have clipped through there and that there's no collision there. Could be wrong about that though. And interesting to note that though these stairs go down here in the memory, that spot is blocked off. So just interesting to note, and very cool kind of back and forth type situation in terms of the timeline, similar to Dark Souls 1 with the Darkroot Forest and the Ulasil Sanctuary Garden, whatever it's called. But yeah, let's say hello to the Pursuer. Flying in on a crow, very reminiscent of the crow that represents Velka, or that is Velka from Dark Souls 1. Probably gonna die because I'm gonna try and parry him. So just a warning there. Okay, I'll take it. One more for good measure. And so this is the spot down there. Can't see any more of these ships that were shipwrecked during the war with the giants in the memory. But very interesting. I'm just taking note of some of the architecture so that when we later do go and fight the Giant Lord, this, of course, is the head that rolls over and kills the elite giants that stand between yourself and the Giant Lord. Very interesting. Okay, let's check out the Ring of Blades, which we're going to use to replace the Blue Seal. Ring of Blades is modeled after the Mad Knight of Alkin's favorite weapon or weapon of choice. Increases physical attack. The kingdoms of Alkin and Ven long ago flourished on these very grounds. They were both founded by the same man, but were reduced to rivalry and spite. And so, it doesn't really explain at all why the Pursuer drops the Ring of Blades, but so the Pursuer, who lurks in Drangleic. The Pursuer, who seeks the bearer of the sign, will not rest until his target is slain. So it would have been nice to have seen that item description fleshed out a little bit more with the 1.1 update, but I don't believe it was. This, of course, is the spot where you first enter the arena where you go to fight the Giant Lord. And this tree in the memory is obviously nowhere to be found. So, very interesting that I wonder why it is there were two elite giants here. Why it is that this one's there's only one tree that was spawned when two elite giants were there in the memory. Again, probably just a disconnect between the lore and the gameplay, because even though the Souls games are masterful for achieving a synthesis of the two, it's not always possible to have that synthesis take a one-to-one form. This right here is, of course, where you get the Bonfire aesthetic, which, if you farmed the Giant Lord for any length of time, should be very familiar to you. And so we're about to take a ride on the Crow ourselves. Now, this is, of course, one of the really interesting lore locations in Dark Souls 2. The Lost Bastille, where Vendrick essentially rounded up the undead. I could be wrong, it might not be Vendrick, I'll need to double check that, but where the undead were essentially rounded up and placed into prisons. We'll have to talk to Shanalot a little bit about that. Or, not Shanalot. Shalquar. We'll have to talk to Shalquar, the cat, and Majula a little bit more about that to get some more information. For the time being, let's say hello to this undead jailer. Oops. I believe they can be parried. Certainly be stun locked rather easily, at least when two-handing the longsword. And we're about to see, for those of you familiar with the one cinematic lore video I've done so far, my favorite NPC in the game, Lucatiel of Mira. And I will certainly be talking a great deal about her and about my conception of her story as it relates to the lore video I put together, and provide some further insight into the decisions I made for that cinematic lore video. But without further ado, I'll let her introduce herself.
What is it? I don't know you, and you don't know me. Things are better that way. You are an odd one. Normally, people keep a safe distance when they see this mask. But you... I'm called Lucatiel. From the land of Mira to the far east, across the mountains. They say Drang Lake brims with powerful souls. And so I came to claim my share. But what a strange place. Even the rumors did not prepare me. You are an odd one indeed. I've always made a point of avoiding people, while you've made a point of engaging me. I can see that you are mid-journey. If you require assistance, I will help you. I come from Mira, a land of knights. My sword is always ready. Don't hesitate to call upon me. Whatever happens, I won't be missed. You are an...
So, of course, she obscures, in her initial introduction to you, her true reason, or at least one of her primary motivations for... I always go very slow on this part because I'm deathly afraid of falling off. She obscures one of her more significant motivations for coming to Drang Lake, and that is to find her brother, who has disappeared. Another interesting point is that she is very willing to assist the Chosen Undead in their journey, despite having really learned not very much about what it is that the Chosen Undead, or from her perspective, just another undead, is here for. And that plays a huge part in... Oops. That was dumb. In the conclusion that I drew in the lore video I made for her, and that is to say that despite always feeling as though, and losing to her brother constantly, being inferior to her brother in terms of combat skill, that she ends up beating him. And one of the primary reasons my justifications for having her defeat him and then go hollow afterwards as a result of having defeated him and feeling bad about it, is the fact that she drops her summon sign in so many places across Drang Lake, and therefore is able to, however you want to see it, farm souls, learn stuff from the Chosen Undead, whatever the case may be, she learns and gets better. And, of course, Aslitil the only interaction the player has with Azathiel is that he invades, and so therefore doesn't engage in jolly cooperation, as it were, and therefore lacks much of the skills that Lucatiel acquires, which allows her to eventually defeat him. But we'll talk much more about Lucatiel throughout the rest of the playthrough. I'm going to concentrate for a moment to try and get this jackass not to kick the barrel incorrectly down the stairs so that we can unlock Macduff. Hey, feller. Right here. Yep. You see me? There you go. Yep. Over here. Over here. Way over here. Away from that barrel, please. Thank you. It really sucks having such low agility. It tends to be one of the first things I level up is my adaptabilities and get more agility. Alright, I'm gonna go take care of those dogs before I kick the barrel, because sometimes the dogs can mess up the barrel as well. Okay. I do have a firebomb. That's why I bought 2 from Melencha. I always buy 1 just in case for this part. Oh, that's... Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Yes! Perfect. Alright. So we're not going to go fight the Ruined Sentinels just yet. But I did want to unlock Steady Hands Macduff. At least his Bonfire. We're going to go sit here so we can pick up the contents of the metal chest that he was previously sitting on. Oops, which side is it? This side. He doesn't have all that much of anything to say that will be of interest to us, so I'll likely just skip his dialogue, at least for now. Alright, let's go back to Majula and do some upgrading. Okay, so first things first. Let's see, I think we can get 1 more level, or perhaps 2, out of our longsword.
I knew you'd be...
Just 1. Need 1 more large titanite shard, which we will get in No Man's Wharf. Let's upgrade our armor a little bit. And we're gonna go buy. I would pick up that short bow, but I actually got 1 from a drop. And what am I lacking? Oh, dexterity. Interesting, okay. I'm going to keep these binoculars equipped so that we can look at things. It's always good to look at things. Let's go grab our helmet from Malin now that we have the souls to afford it.
I'm glad to see you safe.
Apologies about the notification. I will disable that for the next episode.
Thank.
Oh, we're fat rolling now. Okay, we're gonna pump a couple levels into Vitality.
Bearer of the curse. Seek souls.
Alright, everyone's heard that dialogue a million times. So we're gonna leave that. I'm gonna put 3 levels into Vitality, get it up to 9. so as to provide for the possibility to get Flynn's ring. Probably won't be using Flynn's ring though, because once I get the shield that completes the Aegon of Astora set, as I've defined it at least, it will put us over the fat roll threshold, and yeah, so probably not going to bother, but for now we'll just leave it at 9. We have 85 agility, which I believe is the minimum agility, or the base iframe, so I'm going to try and get that. Let's see how many. You can only get it up to 90. In case you weren't aware, every 5 points in agility you have increases your iframes. You get an additional iframe for each 5 points in agility, and agility is leveled up by increasing adaptability, but also attunement, although you get much less out of attunement than you do out of adaptability. So yeah, let's leave it at that for now. And so since we're just at about 30 minutes, I'm going to... Actually, let's put one more into Vitality, just to make it an even 10. I'm going to get a little bit more dialogue, and then end the episode before we head to the next location, which will be Hyde's Tower of Flame.
Over the hill and past the forest is the king's castle, where a man peered straight into the essence of the soul. But whatever came of it?
That man, presumably, is Vendrick, that she is talking about, but it could very well also be Aldea. Though, you could argue that, given the reference specifically to the King's Castle, that she's talking about Vendrick and not necessarily Aldea, although it's not outside of the realm of possibility that Aldea would have conducted at least some of his experiments in Dranglake Castle prior to having Aldea's Keep built.
Those who come to Dranglake seeking salvation soon lose hope and turn hollow. It happens to them all, sooner or later. That blue knight at the base of the tower, although he does, perhaps he... That tiny thing inside the ruins. An ancient being that will mock your very existence. She imparts sound wisdom, provided you find her on a good day.
Referring, of course, to Sweet Shalquar, who we'll go talk to after we're done talking to the Emerald Herald.
The sign you bear will drain your very souls. And without souls, you will turn hollow. Stay strong. Do not lose hope. Even when you have precious little time. For when the undead dies, it is never truly dead, but only one step closer to hollowing. Not all undead are hollows, but all hollows were once undead.
And that's a point that I come across a fair bit of confusion on when reading, in particular, about Lucatiel. And people jokingly say, well, she wouldn't have gone hollow if she didn't give away that human effigy. She doesn't know what it's for. But there's a distinction between capital H hollowing and lowercase hollowing. So lowercase hollowing being the amount of health you lose with each death, and capital H hollowing being that you become a hollow. In meta terms, in Dark Souls 2, that would refer, I guess, to the fact that you stop playing. Would essentially be that you've gone hollow. You stop playing not after having, beaten the game and accomplished everything you needed to accomplish, but after, getting halfway through the game, getting frustrated with it, and just giving up. That would be, in meta terms, the capital H hollowing.
If you find an Estus shard, bring it so that I may ease over the hill and
She's
past
repeating her dialogue now, so
whatever
we'll come back and get some more dialogue from her later. Let's go say hello to Shalquar. We'll see if we can replicate the whole dead merchant thing. No, she's not. It only works when she's standing, or when she's scratching her claws against the wall.
Oh, undead are we? And one without much time remaining. Just about ready to fall apart, I'd say. Not exactly the time to be chatting with a cat. Well, suit yourself. Oh yes, you may call me Shalqua. Enchanté. So, what did you want anyway? Ooh, you smell wonderful. This place is already dead. Everything will crumble and waste away so that something new may be born. Isn't it wonderful?
So referring, of course, to the cyclical nature of the Souls games, and how essentially Dark Souls 2 is just the eventual outcome of any given countless number of cycles that led to the dissolution or destruction of Lordran and the eventual rise of Drangleic, and possibly many other kingdoms in between.
This place is fascinating. We receive only the most peculiar visitors. Folk like yourself. It's enough to keep even a cat amused. Are you going to see the old ones? Those four who have grown so incredibly ancient. They must have sprouted quite a thick coat of moss by now. For heaven's sake, no one even knows their names anymore. Imagine that. Yes, nothing like yourself. For you have a most pleasant scent that grows nicer with each passing day.
Most people that I've come across seem to think that she's referring to the scent of hollowing, the scent of the undead, but I'm inclined to think that she is just referring more or less to your strength, the amount of souls that you've accumulated. And the more souls that you've accumulated, the better you smell from her perspective.
Have you made friends with the man by the sea? He's lost the only covenant you give.
Okay, more just instructional stuff, nothing really to do with lore. I'm going to try and skip more of that so that we're not just listening to dialogue that is inconsequential as it comes to the lore.
Did you see that oddly formed rock behind here? Long ago,
Referring to the Covenant Stone for the Covenant Champions.
This place is
okay, and that's about it for now.
Isn't it? Nothing suited you,
So,
I presume.
In the next episode,
Well, that's dismaying.
as I mentioned, we're going to be heading to Hyde's Tower of Flame. But I'm going to cut it here for now because we're well over 30 minutes. So thank you for joining me. I'm recording this shortly after having done the first two episodes. If you have left any comments in the meantime, by the time you're watching this, I will not have seen it yet at this point, and will not have had an opportunity to respond to any of the feedback that's being left. So I apologize for that if that is the case. I might do one or two more. I just uploaded and posted the first episode. So, I hope that at least there's someone out there still watching this. And as I've mentioned before, this is more or less to prepare myself for a similar playthrough, or my initial playthrough of Bloodborne. Just to work out any technical kinks and work on my live commentary, which I know isn't great, but I've just started doing this, so just leave me any comments, anything you think I can do to improve. But in the meantime, I'm going to get out here, and I will see you guys in the next one.